Being one of the top three oil and gas companies in the UK, BP is to be affected by these recent industry changes, and in planning for the future, it needs to consider transition risk, which is the loss of competitive standing under low carbon market conditions. Transition risk involves two main components. Firstly, business model risk, which is an indication of how exposed the current business model is to obsolescence. Secondly, we consider business model adaptation, which is an indication of how well positioned a company is to adapt to a sustainable energy model. Segment risk is a key factor under business model risk and is an indication of how exposed an oil and gas company is to upstream, downstream, or integrated segments of the value chain. A heavy weighting towards upstream production is risky due to the difficulty in repurposing operations towards clean energy, whereas downstream or integrated operations allow for an easier transition.
To mitigate the uncertainties associated to energy transition, BP has outlined the following aims to achieve net zero: net zero operations, reducing methane, net zero sales, more investments for clean energies, and net zero production.
When analyzing BP's position on the power curve, there are some important recommendations for them to consider in order to remain competitive and not slip into the lower quintiles. BP needs to be all in with regards to their transition to clean energy. Small incremental changes will not be enough to remain competitive and compliant in the long run. Also, BP needs to make significant portfolio and performance moves, such as divesting in upstream operations, and when investing in downstream operations, make sure that they can be repurposed to refine alternative sources of energy. Programmatic M&A will also play a key role in BP's transition. Target companies could include companies in the following industries: EV charging, hydrogen fuel cells, or nuclear fusion. Additionally, BP should migrate at least 30% of their capex to renewable-focused projects over the next 10 years. However, they should not do this too quickly, since there is a risk of ignoring short-term energy supply needs.
Created using Powtoon.